Hey everybody, what is going on? It's Bill with Franklin Loan Center, and of course, there's been a ton of talk about affordability with housing and all that good stuff, right? We've been talking about it a lot in this video. And so yesterday, the president signed an executive order banning institutional investors from purchasing single-family residences, right? So he's been talking about doing this. For what it's worth, the market didn't really seem to react too much to this, which is a little bit of a sign. But so they did actually sign an executive order. There's not a lot of detail to the executive order. In fact, one of the things is it's still yet to be determined what is an institutional investor, right? So anyway, this has just been, this has been on my mind anyway. I wanted to just see, like, what impact could this actually have? It sounds great, right? Like, we don't want multi-trillion-dollar investment funds going up and gobbling up all the houses that are out there and available, right? That undoubtedly is going to hurt prices. So it's like, what does it really look like? So I went and pulled some data, and it's interesting, So what we're seeing is when you look at all the houses that are owned by investors, right? So not primary residences, not vacation homes, but investment properties, right? And the thing here's a graphic right here so you can see what I'm talking about. But you'll see that the mom and pop, so there's the 1 to 10 properties. It's over 76% of all the investment properties that are owned by the mom and pops, right? So that leaves roughly 24% of the rest of the houses to be owned by others, right? And then this again, see the graphic, like, breaks it down, and generally speaking, people owning or entities owning 1,000 or greater, it would make sense that those would be the institutional investors. They're like 3% of the total, right? So, like, banning these guys from loading up on these, it's just, it just feels like it's not going to make a real big difference, right? So I think there's, again, there's some affordability things. For me, I still feel like, and this is the one that the market reacted most to, is, okay, if Fannie and Freddie really have $200 billion to help buy mortgage-backed securities over the next little bit, like, let's get going on that. That seems like it could help. The market like that seemed like a big deal. When this got announced a week or so ago that they were going to talk about not allowing institutional investors to buy, market hardly react to it, which kind of tells you it's probably a non-issue. And then when you dig into the numbers, you start to see that it probably really is a bit of a non-issue, right? So it's just some food for thought. I don't think this is going to be one of those things that makes a big affordability difference. Look, builders will build houses when the demand is there. The hardest thing for builders is they have such really long lead times to getting, so they identify a need. They're like probably at least 3 years from actually, like, having any supply down, right? So, that's why builders have such a hard time, So anyway, yes, there was an executive order signed. Do I think it's going to have any impact? Probably not. There's so much other stuff going on in the economy right now, and just out of politics and everything. I don't even think that the markets even can have room to try and react to this little executive order. So that was it. But I think the main nugget for me is isn't it interesting that it's really like I've heard a big narrative that so many homes are owned by these big institutional investors, and it is a big number, but as a percentage, it's a teeny number, and it's just a blip in the map. So that's all I have for today. I'm Bill. I'm the Franklin Loan Center, and I'll see you all next week.